Dear Senator Al Franken, as I mentioned in all my previous letters, we here at the Union of Comedy Actors and Writers have worked tirelessly for decades to elect someone to Congress to advance our agenda. And in that effort, we poured millions of dollars, phone calls, and jokes at your opponent's expense into your campaign in Minnesota. And it worked. You came from behind to win by 331 votes. So again, we insist that you show your appreciation by sponsoring the following legislation. First, the youth today just don't have the advantages that you and I had in our day. We couldn't help but to grow up to be losers, weirdos, and perverts. But how is this country going to stay on top in the comedy world when our families aren't full of lunatics anymore? When the schools stop bullies from harassing our kids? When our wives and mother-in-laws refuse to let us make fun of them on stage anymore, just to name a few. Hell, hundreds of us have even tried forcing our kids to convert to Judaism, and that didn't do squat. So please introduce tax incentives to encourage dysfunctional families and institutions so we can end this unfolding catastrophe before it's too late. Second, over 20 years, a mountain of evidence has piled up showing that laughter is the best medicine. And yet, despite all my efforts, they still refuse to license us as health practitioners. In fact, the last time I applied, I got a letter back signed by 30 people saying that I had no idea how much the whole department needed a great laugh. But this is not a laughing matter. So it's essential that you slip some kind of amendment into any upcoming healthcare legislation to end this outrage. Now, third, everybody knows that a great one-liner on late night TV or on Saturday Night Live can torpedo the ambitions of a presidential candidate or the career of a congressman. And yet the Defense Department still wastes trillions of dollars of taxpayers' money on fighting wars, when all that's needed is a handful of highly trained character assassins to turn our enemies into laughing stock. Hell, I've even volunteered to train and lead the unit myself, but nobody at the Pentagon will take my calls anymore. So I'd appreciate it if you introduce something to intervene in our behalf. And of course, fourth and fifth, we need legislation to make stealing jokes a felony and to make heckling a hate crime. And finally, I'd like to say a word about our nation's most scandalous tragedy. I'm talking about comics who were once the pride of the nation and who once made a truckload of money, but over the years lost it. We owe so much to these people, and the least we can do is pass my Comics Rehabilitation Act. You know, the only thing these poor unfortunates need is a helping hand. You know, like to reverse the therapy their wives beat them get, so they can turn them back to their old foul-mouthed misogynistic selves they used to be, and be productive members of society again. Now, Senator, this letter is your last warning. If you do not introduce legislation immediately, we will have no choice but to turn you into a joke in the upcoming election. Have a nice day. Ed Toolis, President of the UCAW.